All right, let's begin here. I've made everything into its own symbol. All right, so no longer are these tinted. In fact, I don't think anybody should be tinted, but I'm kind of double checking that now. And obviously, I've just put in some kind of temp hands. Definitely they're temp hands because, well, they could use a lot of detail, maybe a little bit more reshaping, and I thought it was just a little weird that I hadn't done anything over there. But on your end, if you want to kind of simulate that, just a few planes over here indicating the fingers. This I think I would change later. And I kind of made this into, well, our little sword area, one sword with one thumb. And I don't know, maybe the other fingers are back there. We'll play around with that later. But otherwise, there's not too many changes from where we were at before. And again, I did leave you guys off with the instructions to go ahead and kind of make everything into a symbol so that we could kind of move stuff independently of the main sort of black exoskeleton that we had before, which was all one piece. So we are ready to get started with the next stage here, which will be, I think our best bet is to go and start extruding some of these shapes and just elaborating upon that detail. And that's, of course, one of the easier things to do because you've seen us do that in the past. So, I mean, like, here's a good example. You could even just take a shape like this and put it over top there, right? In some sense, that's kind of the easy way out, though. But it could definitely work in places. And maybe a better example of doing that would be over here. And let me put a drop shadow on both of these. I don't want to necessarily get into shading right now, but just to kind of show you all that a little shadowing goes a long way in terms of just giving this some detail. Let's take the that down. So there we go. I didn't even adjust the angle on it. But hopefully you see what I'm getting at, is that once we start extruding things and making even more symbols, then I think we kind of get easier and easier tasks in front of us. So, and this is pretty good. I mean, that has some realism to it with that shadow. It should probably be curved off a little bit because it's hanging off to the side. So anyway, let's just keep that in mind. And well, here's the shape. We could probably go ahead and leave this one in. I did duplicate it real fast in case you guys didn't notice that, and just gonna bring these down to not touch with that plane, but come mighty close, I guess. And that way, too, we could kind of think ahead and leave in some of that shadowing. Having a little trouble there getting those points to do what I want. That's okay. I think I got it. And then I'm just going to take in all this. And a little cleanup probably would have been, a little more cleanup, I should say, probably would have been good over here. I might even have to go as far as to, yeah, see, there's a little bit hanging off. I suppose I just kind of bring everything into one point. There we go. I might have messed up the perspective a little bit. What do we think? No, I think that looks all right. And since I do already have that drop shadow on, I guess I'll leave it in for right now. Let's give it the curve, though. It should have. Okay, so ideally we end up with a lot of shapes like this that kind of look fully realized, but obviously could use the texturing and things like that. All right, so here's hopefully an easy one. Let's go, and this time around what we'll do is we'll take a good old favorite, the blue line, and really all I need is this side of it. So go ahead and move that down there. And I'll squish it up a little bit, like so. And then I like working at kind of hairline level with these. And then what we'll do is just make our connections and see how well that works. Okay, got that about right. And let's pull back, see what we got. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me fill it in. Let's start with that color up at the top, and we'll make our way down. And let's get rid of those lines, just see how that looks. Okay, digging it. Let's do something over here. I think what we'll have to eventually start doing is figuring out a few more creative ways to extrude things other than just starting with the basic shape that we already have. But for right now, it's probably okay. Make this one pop up a bit though. And I kind of lifted everything off the ground there, didn't I? That's okay. We can go ahead and get. Ooh, I was about to say we can go ahead and get rid of that color, but no, we cannot. Let's fill in that entire shape with a stroke around it. Now, I don't need this. And now I can probably get away with getting rid of that. Just make it a little easier. I'm gonna take this same shape and then just bump it up one more time. Just to, you know, complicate things a little further. And I'll just begin somewhere in the middle here and just kind of curve my way around. I feel like I just had that same color. That's okay. We could always go with a different one. And I think we're somewhere over here. Got one little spot to touch up right over here. Okay, let's try making this entire thing a little bit darker, just to give us a bit more depth back there. And I think before, or after I've already gotten rid of these lines, let me go ahead and just paste them in here one more time and play around with doing a little bit of line work. Let's see. How did we get the blue left in? Ah, from that. I'm going to set that to 1 and then just take the alpha down to about something like that. So you get just a little hint of it in there, and then maybe lift it up like so. I'm going to convert lines to fills just so I get an even line width around there, but I want to put that on a layer of its own just so it doesn't delete out the yellow underneath. And let's see, I think that looks alright. I might make these colors a little bit darker around here. And you know, if you ever want to just do this kind of a quick way, instead of recoloring everything, you could always just take all those planes and then just find a black like this, make it, set the alpha on it, and of course that also gives you the opportunity to play around with a little shadowing as well, which again, don't really want to get into that this video, but you know, you could think about it. So we got something like that. And before I forget, let me get in here and make this just something off from being black. And I say before I forget because I almost did forget. Let's just bring this down a little. Oops, forgot that that's a shadow. Don't think that plane is being seen, but there we go. I guess in case it moved up. Alright, let's work on the boot. And I've got a lot of layers inside of here that I was working with previously to kind of bring all these points together and fix this guy up. Don't need them now, but let's go ahead and, well, we'll probably make a few more. I'm going to start with putting a line around this, and I guess I could probably go ahead and do it for all of these other ones too. I think what I might end up doing is making these planes right here a little bit lighter. Alright, we'll connect that together. Let's go ahead and give this a little bit more of a bevel on top, I guess. Thank goodness I chose to use the same polygon shape for this and this, because otherwise I don't know what I'd be connecting these to. We can, let's see, we can probably move that up a little bit. Alright, that's okay. And for this, let's just go ahead and let's bring a square up. So I actually will end up doing this on a different layer. Perspective's a little off. I'm sure someone else noticed that. Might actually try this one more time. Let me paste that same shape up on top of here, and then flip it upside down. Get something like that happening. I don't think these are centered the way they should be. This boot's a little bit tricky because even I'm a little undecided. Are we seeing the side back here or just some sort of like deep part of the back of the boot? And that's throwing my perspective a little off because I don't know whether or not to turn these shapes into that 3/4 view. Doesn't help right now that I'm having this problem. Yeah, I think I got it right. So I'll need to fix this up a little bit too. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to run these lines parallel so I get a better grasp on the perspective. Of course, these lines should be parallel. Well, I didn't want that entire line to get deleted, and that's probably because I'm working on a layer above that one. There we go. And let's see, does that look about right? I'm gonna switch these lines to being black just so I feel like I get a better idea of what's going on. I think that's okay. Let's do one other thing. Don't like how flat this quote-unquote shoe is at the bottom here. So I'm going to see what happens if I do something like this. Well, let's pull all the way out and see. Kind of gelling with the rest of our little world here. I think so. Boy, this will be a fun one to shade, won't it? Well, no time like the present. Okay, well, let's give this some color. One thing I'm going to do is take all the strokes down to about 30%. Let's see how that looks. Okay, and I'm doing this just because, well, for right now I need them in place, but even when I don't need them, like when I filled in the color here, a few of them I might want to leave intact. So I think what we're going to need to do is switch over here to our color, and I'd like to make a few of these ones up here just a little bit brighter, so I can go just a tad brighter on that white, and then I think I'm going to have to adjust the saturation to get it even brighter than that. So it's kind of edging toward white right now. Okay, and that actually, I guess that color can stay the same. This one, start to take down a little bit. That can stay the same. And obviously, because I've got so many of these planes now, I've got to use my colors carefully. I think actually go a little brighter on this one. Keeping with our light source being somewhere over there. Okay, and let's try putting in our sort of metallic color around this thing. do have my swatches I could choose from too. Kind of forget about that panel. Oop. And of course, we could always think about putting in that swatch there and there. We'll have to see how that looks. Sort of looks like a knee pad, which is maybe okay. And all right, let's continue down this way. All right. Oh, I need to merge all these into that layer. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of mirror the same lighting that's occurring up there. Okay, now what to do with this little contraption? I guess we could play around with these colors. This might fall under the subject to change category if I don't like it. And I don't like a lot of things. Okay, let's see. There's some good stuff going on. Not sure if I'm feeling the old knee pad here. But I could probably leave that in. All right, now let's delete out this line, this one, this one. See, some of these lines are kind of getting their job done by just the difference in the color change. But a few of them I do like. And of course, you know, we'll dedicate an entire video probably to going back through here and adding in lots of other lines. So probably the best move now is to take out as many as possible. These are actually the same color, aren't they? We don't want that. See, some of them do help a lot. I mean, if you take them all out, it's maybe not the best decision. What I could do, though, is I could take all these, put them on a layer of their own, and then maybe convert them to fills. The lines are kind of insanely thin at the hairline level, but let's set them up to 1, and then I'll do convert lines to fills. Looks like I lost a line at some point. Oh, or when I did lines to fills, watch what happens. Oh, that time it saved them all. Okay, so that's fine. And I'm seeing one little spot that could use a little touching up. Actually, look over here. That's not good at all, but I'll kind of fix that on my own at a later time. But all in all, it's definitely elaborated that boot. Probably use some color changes down here, maybe a little bit darkening, but yep, it's got more to it, that's for sure.